Now, as the country prepares to commemorate June 16, the Free State government says it plans to honor the youths who were ambushed by the apartheid police in Soweto back in 1976. On that day, of course, it's estimated that over 500 people lost their lives. For more on government's plans tomorrow, let's bring in the acting premier in the Free State, Moses Makume, who joins us now via our video link this morning. And it's great to have you on the program, sir. Thanks very much indeed for making time. Those of us who've been around for some time know that this has become an annual thing. And I wonder, as a first question, whether you reckon anything could be done differently this time around. We know in Gauteng, for instance, there will be no speeches. Instead, the Premier has decided to take CVs from young people who are desperately looking for jobs.
Thank you, Ayanda, and good morning to your viewers. We also wanted to do it differently. We're hosting the national event tomorrow in Bloemfontein, and indeed the expectation is that we've invited various sectors to be on site. There will be a keynote speech by the DP, the Honorable Paul Mashatile. Then immediately young people will be engaging various different sectors, financial sectors, private sectors, and government sectors. And including agencies from all these sectors will be around, have been invited to engage young people on all the activities. We are doing two things. It's commemoration, but it's also task-based, in which it will be part and parcel of everyone that I've already mentioned who will be outlining their services to the young people. Yeah.
What's the response to those young people, though, who are completely disillusioned by government? And I'm asking this on the back of, because any drive in any common town in the Free State, you'll see young people quite literally all over because of the lack of opportunities that exist there. And in engaging them, it almost feels like in their world, the solution just won't come from government because of past failures and disappointments.
Look, there's partly truth in what you are saying. And indeed, a lot of young people, they are disillusioned on many of the things because opportunities for sometimes now have been made maybe for young people, but not reaching the numbers that we would have loved to have reached. Therefore, disillusionment those who did not manage to access the opportunities, the obvious it will kick in. But what we are planning to do now is to expand these opportunities. We are trying even to reach the smallest areas in the Free State to ensure that they do have them. But we are also trying to encourage, in particular when it comes to government, encourage public servants not only to have these activities that we are going to have during these events, but have them as part and parcel of their daily routine. There's nothing that stops a department, for instance, to go and provide services to the young people in Kwakwa after an event tomorrow. So this is what we are trying to do. From this June month, since the 1st of June, we have been to the Free State doing everything to ensure that we reach as many as young people, but not on events, but on what you have said we need to do. Give them opportunities, make them to be aware of the opportunities, but in other instances, make sure that when we leave the area, they have already accessed the opportunity. I was in Kwakwa, for instance, with the Department of the Distillery, and what we have left there, we have left 2 young people with a package of opportunities where they are going to be groomed to become business people. We were in Bloemfontein here, where we were training young people who are involved in the agriculture. So we are trying all our best to ensure that we get as many as young people to be involved. But indeed, there are so many young people who are disgruntled, who are disillusioned, and all what we can say to them is that let them have courage, let them have patience, in the same way the youth of 1976 did. Have this thing that something will have to come up one day, but they will have to act and stand up and ensure that everything that is being decided, particularly that involves the future, young people need to be involved.
Yeah, I mean, you're appealing for more patience this morning, and I suppose many of them are asking how much patience is reasonable that we can give out, given how much time it's taken for them to see any kind of change in their lives. Given the concession you've made, how worried are you that the turnout might not be as great tomorrow?
Look, we are not worried about the turnout. We are just worried about young people not pitching up to access the opportunities, because we are going to avail some of the things that they will have not necessarily have them. We are also worried about the pace in which we are giving them these services. So we need to man up and ensure that we bring as many as possible the services, but at the very same time in a very speedy way, so that we cover as many ground as possible.
Yeah. There's also a lot of conversations that are taking place about ways through which young people specifically are being trained for the future. I mean, interestingly enough, the theme is accelerating youth emancipation for a sustainable future. And in many instances, government itself has faced a lot of criticism for not giving those same young people an opportunity to lead, perhaps even in your office. How much attention is something like that getting? Because what I do find is that when young people see other young people where they'd like to be, they're more likely to respond.
Okay, let me start with my office, for instance. Almost all who are working here, I only have the office manager who's above 50. The rest of them, they are less than 35. And these are young people. Some of them, they are fresh from school. I told them that I want to afford you the opportunity, because there's no way that you'll buy an experience from elsewhere. Come and exercise and express yourself in my offices. And some of them, I don't even know them. I just ask around to say, can I have this young person who will be doing A, B, C, D responsibilities? These are the people that I never had a relationship. The relationship I have with them now is on work basis. But I can tell you, the ethical way in which they've been expressing themselves, I'm so impressed. I think there's a bright future. And I think if we can all do that, ensure that these young people have access to opportunities, they will do wonders. I've already alluded to the fact that they should also defy any plan or any conversation that have to talk about the future without their involvement. In everything that concerns the future, young people must be involved. That's my mantra. That's my way of, the outlook on how I see things. Because I was once a young person. I know how it is for a young person to be isolated from the plans that are going to concern you. So we're appealing to all government officials, all private sector, the financial sector, that let us give young people the chance, let us afford them to gain the experience, and let us also train them. Train them meaning bringing opportunities that will allow them to be empowered.
Yeah. Those opportunities can exist outside government too, right? And this time I'm referencing the private sector. But for private sector players to be able to do their job, they need to feel like they're operating in a space that allows them to flourish. And that speaks directly to issues of governance. I put it to you that perhaps the best gift to give young people during this Youth Day is to make sure government works so that investment can flow into areas like the Free State, so that they could have sustainable jobs, even outside government.
I couldn't have agreed with you more on that one. I think you are spot on. This is what you are trying to reach on this day, but also moving forward throughout. This will not going to only end tomorrow. We are planning many activities from the 1st of June, like as I've alluded to you, we had these things in place. And indeed, there has to be a clean governance so that everyone could be able to express themselves. And we are working together with private sector. I was in Sasolburg, where I engaged Sasol, together with municipalities, in the presence of young people. I said, Sasol, you are here. What are programs do you have for these young people? And really make commitments that they will start to look at these things. But also in government, we have planned that for every contract, for every project that is being sent out, young people need to be allocated 30%. This must be a reality moving forward from now. So that 30% must ensure that these young people, they grow in whatever sector, in whatever sphere that they will be wanting to express themselves, or they will be wanting to exercise their rights as young people.
All right. Moses Makume is the acting premier in the Free State. Thanks very much indeed for your time on the AM Report.